What's your pitching plan for this midweek?
We're gonna start Cole Ramage Tuesday and then TBA on Wednesday.
Ramage looking for a couple innings, or what do you expect?
We'll see. Just let him go. See how it goes.
What do you feel like's going on with him right now?
I don't know. It's about getting ahead of hitters for him because this stuff is hard to hit when he's ahead. He's got a plus changeup and usually a pretty good slider. I would say probably, and I think anybody could see it. He's got to command that fastball more. He's got to get ahead with it and be able to use it a little bit more. So I think if he can get that going tomorrow, he'll have a good outing.
If the week goes as scheduled, 5 games, how do you feel about pitching depth, kind of with what's happening right now?
Well, we've kind of got we know who we're going to throw on Friday, obviously, but with Cole going tomorrow, and then we've got 4 or 5 guys that we'd like to throw. Wednesday will be a day where we're probably going to see some of the younger guys throw. So if we can get through tomorrow with what we're planning on doing, we should be back to normal by Friday.
Try and get McFarland some at bats this week.
Yeah, I played him last Tuesday, and I played him the Tuesday before that. I'm planning on starting him tomorrow on Tuesday.
Does any nostalgia run through your head that Northwestern was a good spot for you and kind of got your career really kick-started?
Yeah, it was a really good spot for me. Just did an interview with some people down there, and just when you see the uniform, kind of brings back a lot of good memories. Because when we moved there, I don't remember the year, but we had a 1-year-old. So when we left there, we had a 4-year-old and a infant. We went to Nebraska, and it's kind of the way I remember the years. A lot of times, where were we then? And but it was there 3.5 years, 3 seasons, and actually the team that we left there, when I left at semester, John Cohen took over the team. He came from, I think he was an assistant at Missouri, and I remember telling John, kind of kiddingly, don't mess this up. This is the best team I ever had. And they went on and rolled to the conference championship. But I really enjoyed my time in Natchitoches. It's a great town. People are friendly. Just a good place to live.
You've played him a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, I think we played him a few times. I couldn't tell you what I've done against him. We went down there when I was at Nebraska and played in a tournament. And I remember saving my best pitcher to face him, and he did great against him. Because they saved their best pitcher. I think it was on a Saturday. But, I remember the last time we played him. Honestly, a few years ago, we played him up here.
I know there's been a lot of big-time coaches that have come through there.
Well, you had, what do you mean by big time anyway? You've had, Mitch Gaspard's been through there, John Cohen, Jim Wells. There's been some guys that have gone on to some bigger schools and had some success. So it's been a good place. You got to work hard there. Not a big budget. You got to recruit kids all over the place. You got to get kids. Mostly the high school kids you're going to get are going to be from in-state, but you have to go get a lot of junior college guys too. And it's you learn how to work.
I think they've won about 23 games. Looks like they're on a pretty solid season.
They're having a good year. They're a good team. They have good coaches. And I'll tell you, last year they went to a regional, and they went to the Oregon State regional and knocked one team out of there, and actually faced LSU in an elimination game and had the lead going into the 9th. And I think LSU scored a couple runs to get to the championship game against Oregon State. So they held their own on the road in a tough place to play. And they're not scared. They've already beat LSU this year. I think they beat them 3-1 in Natchitoches, and they play Lafayette and play them all. So it's just another game for them.
We talked a couple of weeks ago, I think, about how tough these midweek games can be for SEC teams coming off big conference weekends, and these teams obviously get fired up to play you guys.
Yeah, it's more about the emotions. It's a very emotional weekend. You got another big weekend coming, and we got to get these guys locked in to find a way to play well and hopefully win some games in the midweek. We only have, 3 midweek games left, 2 in the next couple of days, and then next week down in Little Rock against Grambling. And other than that, it's all SEC teams, and, most of them are ranked in the top 25. So, the season's flying by, and these games are important.
What do you look for out of Kerstad tomorrow coming back?
I'm sure he'll be doing what he always does, smiling from ear to ear and just playing the game, having fun. And, hey, maybe he needed a little bit of a break. He's played every game since he's been here, and We've had some guys really swinging the bats well, and if we could get him hot, it'd be big for us.
Have you seen any signs from some of those younger guys who have struggled that they might be ready to come out Wednesday and pitch well?
Well, we'll see. I don't know how to answer that yet because, the only thing that we see is what we see in practice and in bullpens, and a lot of times in the bullpens are okay. But when you get out there on the mound in front of people and it just doesn't go well, we just need another guy or two to help out a little bit. And I think, just seeing Wicklander and Nolan pitch so well on the weekend, that should be motivation for some of these young guys to just kind of get over it a little bit and just go out and pitch. And, because we're running out of days. We only have 2 weeks of school left. We have finals, and then we have to make decisions because we have to send some kids home because we don't keep all 34, 35 kids we have here. We keep 27. And, so there's going to be some decisions have to be made, after the next couple of weeks.
Any update on Scroggins, his progress?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just rest him through this week, and then maybe we'll have him the next week at Kentucky. That's what we're feeling like he should be fine by then.
So you probably throw Kasi Shock an inning or two tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get him in the game either tomorrow or Wednesday for an inning or two. And if it's tomorrow, it could maybe be a little more than an inning. Depends on the number of pitches. And if it's Wednesday, it'd definitely be no more than one inning.
You said the other night you were going to watch that pitch that Heston objected to on TrackMan.
Yeah.
What did you see when you saw that?
That it was way outside. It was probably on the white line or even farther. And, the TrackMan will give you the data. And it had it about 9 inches off the plate.
I know you're focused on Northwestern, but you got Tony coming in, and I guess a star pupil, I guess you could consider him.
Well, he's the latest one. Proud of him for what he's done. And he's got Josh Elander with him, who we love Josh the year we had him here. And, he gave Josh an opportunity to come with them. And we told him to take Josh because, he had a chance to get paid. Here we are back to that assistant thing. And if we had another assistant at the time, Josh would have been the paid guy because we thought he was really good. And finally, Tony decided to take him. And then he went and got Frank Anderson, who wanted to get out of Houston and coach at one more school. He said he was going to maybe coach 5 more years, so he wanted a veteran coach around him. And it's been a good mix. You've got your veteran pitching coach doing a great job with the pitchers. You got, a couple of younger guys and helping out with their volunteer, Nylander, and then Tony, managing it and still doing a lot of recruiting. And, they've done a good job with, keeping the kids that were SEC guys to them after they saw them play for a year. And most of their guys that are doing the job were already in the program as far as the pitchers. And they just needed a little bit of time and maybe a different pitching coach and different philosophy maybe. And it's gone really well for them. They've already won 30 games. They're 9-9 in SEC play. And they can really pitch. I mean, you look at the statistics, their pitching staff is the best in the league.
Have you been surprised how fast he's turned it around? Because,
Well,
this is just the second year.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised by anything that goes on if you get the talent in there, and they had some talent, and then they added talent to it, and they worked hard last year, and they had some good days and some bad days, but they knew in the fall that they were a lot better. They plugged in a few JC guys and had some pitchers get healthy and coached them up and taught them some things, and obviously they're having a great season.
How good do you feel about where you are with a month left? Top 5 RPI, top 10 rankings.
I mean, I'm happy where we are. I say it all the time, and the players, I've heard them talk about it too, that the guys that have been here know how fast it can flip. One bad weekend, you go from 1st to 5th. So you just got to get a win when you can get one, and you just try not to look and see what's going on around the league. Just keep your head down and try to win every game you play in, and go from there. Because I've seen it. I've seen teams run off 6 and 7 in a row and then lose 6 and 7 in a row. And you look over in the eastern part of the Eastern Division. You look at Florida down there, 3 or 4 games under 500, and nobody saw that coming. And Missouri, if they'd score a few more runs, they can pitch with anybody. But if you catch somebody on a weekend when they're going good and you're not, it can get ugly quick. So happy about where we are because we're here, but we've still got a lot to prove.